getting choked, right? When we were having, no shame, right? Let my testimony be for somebody else. And I was on my period. When he left that first time, after he said, "You are mine," this is not funny, but it's a defense mechanism. He sprayed a cologne on my bed and left, basically. When he was texting me, when he was in the airport, he was catching a flight, and he was talking about what we had just done, I started to cough and I felt a hand around my throat as if it was choking me. And I remember this to this day. This was 5 to 6 years ago. And I felt like I was being choked, but he was in another state. And all we were doing was just talking about what we had just done. He said, "You are mine." I said, "I am yours." Like that. Inseparable for 2.5 years. How'd I know he was a warlock? First of all, warlock means covenant breaker. This man was a liar. He is a liar. He never stopped lying. He lied about anything and everything. Stuff that you don't even need to lie about. But he would. But even after all this, you want to know what sealed the deal for me? After one of our numerous arguments and makeups, he was chuckling to himself. And then he said, "I tricked the most beautiful girl in the world into falling in love with me." He was so arrogant. I truly understood that there are very evil people in this world. A warlock is a liar, a manipulator, and a deceiver. And they will just break covenants and break their word to themselves, to you, and especially to the Most High God. Another thing that I will also add is I could not stop thinking about this man if I tried or if I wanted to. After the very first time we had intercourse, I could feel his presence, his emotions, and he was always in turmoil emotionally because, he's not surrendering to God. He's in a reprobate mind because he refuses to repent of his witchcraft and being outside of God's will. So he's always struggled. Another way you will know that this man, my ex, was a warlock was because I didn't even want to text him sometimes. I didn't even know why I was in this relationship, but I could not get enough of him. I could not stay away from him. I could not stop thinking about him. This man literally became my world, my everything, which is what he wanted from the beginning, which is why he asked me to say, "Whose is this?" And I said, "It's yours." And again, I was a naive, lukewarm Christian girl. And due to me compromising by being in a relationship with this man, unequally yoked, having premarital sex, I paid the consequences and still do to this day. It was a tumultuous relationship. We always fought and we always had sex. And that was a relationship. Whether we were traveling, we fought everywhere we went, fought on my birthday, had cops. It was just, let me just say, it was just a very toxic environment relationship. And I'm glad that I am still here and alive to tell you guys this to this day. One last thing, he would continuously use me, and I was left wondering why I was never good enough. He would always make me feel as if I was never good enough for anything, while also putting me on a pedestal as if I'm the best thing ever. It's really just psychological warfare. It's spiritual warfare. It's manipulation, which is witchcraft, and it's to control your emotions, keep you unstable, off balance, to where you are seeking and searching for his approval, making him your God. And he would use me, my energy, my essence, to basically continue to elevate in life. Another thing that I also noticed was that he would mirror me, and it was very creepy. Or we stare into each other's eyes. I see nothing. I do a slight smile. He does a slight smile. I caught that from the beginning. Obsessed. It was not a love, it was an obsession. He was obsessed over me, and he still is to this day. And I'm learning that obsession and control is not love. I know that, but I'm learning to not crave being obsessed over as the same as being loved, because it's not. Obsession can get you unalived. We would talk for hours. He wanted to know every little thing about me. And I thought it was very sweet and it was romantic, but I realized he was just gathering information to use against me to control. It was to keep me off balance. It was to keep him in control and me catering to him. He would also know what to say, when to say it. He would say all the right things at all the right times to make me feel special and also hurt me. You see how there's always an up and a down, a black and a white. There's never stability. That's on purpose. I'd try to leave 7 times, multiple times. He wouldn't let me go. I'd stay. Some type of manipulation would happen where I would think, I can't get anybody else. Nobody else is going to want me. Nobody else is going to love me like he loved me, or know me like he knows me. And it's not true. I felt so alone because I was isolated to where I could only rely on him for anything and everything. But by the grace of God, I'm free. There is evil. This world is evil. If you're not with Jesus, Yeshua, you're with the other side. There is no in between. You have to choose a side and you have to stand on it. So that's how I knew my ex-fiance was a warlock. And let me say that before anything, I forgive him. I forgive this man. I forgive myself. I don't hold any anger or bitterness towards him anymore. I love him with the love of the Lord. I hope to see him in heaven one day. And I'll say, you sure were raggedy on earth, but glad you made it. I want God to save him. I want God to deliver him from a reprobate mind. But that, I realize, is my nurturing side as a woman, and it is not my calling to save anybody on this earth. All I can do is point them in the right direction. After that, everybody has free will, just like I do. So with that being said, hope you have a great night. Let me also add one fact. I was not a victim in any of this. In fact, I got my lick back before I asked for forgiveness. I sought revenge because the thing about me is I'm a learner. I'm an observer. So everything that he did to me, I observed and dished it right back to where he was like, you're a narcissist. You see how you treat me? I was like, a lukewarm Christian. I was like into my, I just wanted you to see how I feel mode. It was so toxic, constant back and forth, and I'm not proud of it because I did have to repent of a lot of things that I learned from that relationship by learning from him and the way he treated me. I just kind of flipped it and reversed it, doubled it back to him. Not proud of it again, because I'm still in this situation where I had to forgive him, forgive myself, fast, pray, heal, and move on.